Access to an abortion pill has been extended through tomorrow. And if you've used Facebook in the past 16 years, you may be entitled to compensation. Seriously. I'm Jeff Pierre, and this is The 7 from The Washington Post. It's Thursday, April 20th. Let's get you caught up with today's 7 stories. First up, the Supreme Court extended access to a key abortion pill through tomorrow. The court is deciding whether mifepristone should remain available nationwide. It's one of 2 pills used in the most common abortion method in the U.S. This is happening because a judge in Texas earlier this month suspended FDA approval of mifepristone. The justices were expected to issue a ruling yesterday, but they moved their deadline to the end of the week. The delay suggests that members of the court may not agree on how to handle the case. Number 2, House Republicans introduced their plan to tackle the debt ceiling. The debt ceiling limits how much the U.S. can borrow to pay its bills. If Congress doesn't raise or suspend the limit, the government could risk a default as early as June. That would cause an economic catastrophe. The House proposal would raise the debt ceiling, cut federal spending by $130 billion, block student debt cancellation, and add new work requirements for welfare, among other things. The House could vote on the plan as soon as next week, but it's already doomed in the Senate, which is controlled by Democrats. But the goal for Republicans is to put pressure on Democrats to negotiate a deal. Our third story today. 3 suspects were arrested in Saturday's deadly shooting in Alabama. The attack took place during a 16-year-old's birthday party at a dance studio in Dadeville. It left 4 people dead and at least 32 people injured. Yesterday at a news briefing, Sergeant Jeremy Burkett of the Alabama Law Enforcement Agency gave updates about the arrests, but emphasized that authorities are still trying to unravel what happened.
Okay, this is absolutely the beginning. This is not the end. There is a tremendous amount of work that is yet to be done. We're going to continue to do exactly what we've been doing. We're going to be very careful with everything that we say, with everything that we do, because we absolutely are going to stay focused on the families and the victims.
The latest news is that 2 brothers, a 17-year-old and a 16-year-old, were arrested on Tuesday. Officials also said that a 20-year-old was arrested yesterday. All 3 were charged with murder. Number 4. At least 78 people were killed in a stampede in Yemen. A crowd gathered in the Yemeni capital of Sana'a last night. Officials said that they were there to receive donations from local merchants ahead of Eid al-Fitr. That's the Muslim holiday that marks the end of Ramadan, which is tomorrow. The Post hasn't confirmed what started the stampede, but most people were grouped by the back gate of the distribution site. The gate was along a narrow road, which caused overcrowding. War-torn Yemen is in the middle of what the UN calls the world's biggest humanitarian crisis, with 24 million people in need of aid and protection. At number 5, at least 2 people were killed after tornadoes hit Oklahoma last night. The tornadoes swept through the central part of the state, destroying homes and roads. Texas, Kansas, and Iowa also had severe storms. Zooming out here, dozens of people have died this spring from deadly tornadoes in the South, the Midwest, and the Northeast. You might qualify for a payment if you've used Facebook in the past 16 years. That's story number 6. This is part of a $725 million class action settlement reached with Facebook in December. A lawsuit had accused a social media company of sharing users' data without their consent. Anyone who lived in the U.S. and used Facebook at any point from May 24th, 2007 to December 22nd, 2022 could be eligible. Instructions on how to file a claim are available through the link in our show notes. And at number 7, weed, probably doesn't make you more creative. We've all got the jokes, but researchers decided to actually test this. They had two groups of people, one that was high and one that wasn't. The two groups took creativity tests, which asked them to generate ideas about specific prompts or problems. The bottom line was pretty clear. The judges rated the ideas without knowing which group they came from, and they noticed no difference in creativity between the two. Marijuana could have more subtle effects, but being high didn't exactly set the participants' creativity ablaze. You're all caught up for today, and I just have to shout out all the people who already filled out our survey about the show. You mentioned it for the first time yesterday, and we were blown away by how many of you responded. For real, thank you. If you haven't had a chance to fill it out, we want to hear from you too. Go to wapo.st/the7pod. That's wapo.st/the7pod. And that's the number 7 pod. There's also a link in our show notes. I'm Jeff Pierre, and I'll meet you back here tomorrow.